Rise and a shine. It's Olympic talk time. Now, Peps, got a question for you.
What?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Kirch.
Kirch who?
Bless you.
Oh, fuck. As soon as I said it. As soon as I fucking said it, you're a dickhead. That was shit.
You're laughing. Anyway, tonight's video we're going to be
Before we start, bullshit. What have you been doing this afternoon?
are you talking about with me kids or after the kids went to bed and I had to have myself shaved?
Why you were late putting the kids to bed?
Oh, I got my back and bum shaved.
Mm.
I have a
Lift up your arms. Lift up your arms. Ah, just
mate.
like a baby. Put 'em.
I'm tattooed, mate. I'm allowed to be shaved. You look like excuse my French. You look like a caveman from the bloody 10,000 BC. You look better. You look like the mammoth.
Have we not been through this? Women find beards more attractive than baldy egghead looking motherfuckers like you.
Anyway, as I was saying, we are talking about the Olympic Games,
Mm.
2024 Paris Olympics. Oh, mate,
Mm.
we've got some stuff to dissect. Now, before we start, you can have any opinion you want. I don't care. You can talk about, you can comment this and that. I don't care. We are human beings and we are able to express our opinions.
Yep, and everybody's already talked about these things already, but who cares? We're allowed to talk about them as well.
We'll just talk about it on here, because we can. Now, let's
Two
move
fat
into
Aussies.
what do you mean a fat? One, I'm a half Aussie. Two, I'm a half a fat.
Mm,
All right. Paris Olympics
kind of fit,
2025.
kind of fat. Yeah. Hey, what?
Paris Olympics 2025. I have not been watching much.
2025.
2024. Oops, not bad. What was the start date? When's the end date? How long's it go for?
All right. So it started. I have got it written down here. It started
On a
on the
Friday.
26th of last month. Yeah.
Yep.
So we've still got 6 more days to go. I think it finishes on the 11th, on Sunday, Sunday the 11th.
Fair, right,
So
fair enough.
we're past halfway. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, I just couldn't get into it. Like, I went to the Olympics in Sydney when I was at school, growing in the 2000s. I loved it. I just haven't gotten into it.
It's hard because now it's only their morning event starting. So all the good stuff, all the finals and all the good things that happen in the evenings at night time is when us old fellas that need early sleep, go to bed. So it's hard.
Yeah. Before we
Hmm.
get into the controversy stuff, I do have a question. Who's winning? Who's currently winning?
So yes, I think America's finally on top. No, so China. So everywhere in the world has the ladder. I think this is one of your questions. Has their ladder from gold medal winners down. But if you're American, they have their tally from total medals down because they're not winning the gold medals. China's on top of them. China's got the most gold at the moment, so China's on 20 gold, but America's won the most medals. They've won 72 medals total.
From memory,
And Australia,
America killed the track and field.
yeah, the field events. But in saying that too, they haven't done all that crash hot in the field events. They didn't win the women's 100, which they had two two favorites in, and they didn't win that. They won the men's 100, which I was hoping they did because Noah Isles, the guy who won, he's very controversial, and I don't mind that. And he called out a few of the NBA basketball players and the NBA because when they win the NBA championship, they call themselves the world champions. And he called them out and said, "What are you, the world champions of? The world champions of America?" They didn't play against the world; they played against America, which is fair enough. Um, so I like him. I like him how he speaks his mind. So he won by 0.005 of a second. He won by.
Very good. So just to
Mm.
answer my question, so I know China's on top.
China's on top of the gold.
Okay.
China's got the most gold.
Well, in
And
my they're winning.
Australia, you want to know where Australia is?
No.
We're equal third/fourth with
Oh,
the French. We've got 12 gold. So,
hang on. We're
um,
not that goal.
hang on. This is still a part of the same question. So, Sydney, we won 58 medals, okay? 2000, that's our most successful games. 58 medals, 17 gold. So we need to top that. So we need 5 more gold to equal Sydney.
Well, Let's move on to the opening ceremony. I
Mm.
didn't watch it. I've only seen on all different other platforms of what happened, what occurred. Now I'm Catholic myself. When I heard a
And, I,
bit,
and let's push that point back?
mm,
And can I just start off by saying I didn't like it,
okay,
just for the simple fact it was too spread out. So to me, the Olympics is about the athletes, right? Athletes spend 4 years of their life like dedicated, early mornings, late nights, dieting, just it's their life, yeah, to try and fulfill their dream. And it's about the athletes. And they came down in the boats. And I don't even think the whole teams could the big countries could fit on the boats. I'm not sure. And they came down the boats and everything's spread out and they got all this entertainment. They've got Lady Gaga singing. They had fucking fashion walkway parades down bridges and they had all this stuff going on. Fucking opera singers on the top of buildings. And none of the athletes could see what was going on. They were stuck on this fucking boat in the rain going down a fucking shit filled river.
there you go.
Like once all that stuff finished and they got to the actual central location, I'm not sure if the athletes went there, but where they lit the flame and all that stuff, that was really good. All the fucking light effects and stuff were really good, but the planning of it, I think, was just fucking horrendous.
Oh,
And yeah, it's just I don't know what they were thinking. They got all these stadiums, these massive stadiums. They could have put on the best show, and they could have had the athletes there to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So they did all the stuff, but none of the athletes got to see it, which I thought was shit.
it's fair enough.
So yeah, I just very. I think it was poorly planned.
Fair enough. This controversy thing about the opening.
Mm.
What's that? Explain it. I heard about it. I've seen it on
So I'm not a religious guy, so this you're a religious guy, sort of, yeah.
was.
Was yeah. So I'll bring up. Can we share here?
Yes, you can.
Um.
When I
So
say
before I bring
religious,
it,
I was brought up. My mother took me to church once a week on Saturdays, and then
so Catholic.
Catholic.
Yep.
So this
So obviously,
whole thing is what I was
yeah.
brought up about.
So Leonardo's da Vinci's portrait of the Last Supper, yeah, Jesus and his 12 disciples and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Uh, it's a pretty, it's one of the most, what's the
iconic
word I'm thinking?
religious.
Iconic religious pictures ever known to man. And part of the ceremony, some reason that the fucking producer or the designer of
The Olympic
the
Committee.
creator of the bloody thing decided that this would be a good idea. So this is the picture obviously of the Last Supper. You can see that.
Yeah, yeah, that's and my mother's got this hanging up in the house.
Yep. So this is what they produce. This is only a bit of it. So they're all drag queens, right?
Yeah,
So they're drag queens. Um so yeah, what I've written down is Catholics and other Christians have been outraged from Leonardo da Vinci's their take of it. And what they did, they tried to recreate it using drag queens and a transgender modeled dressed as a Greek god.
what the hell? Wow.
And they're saying that this chick in the background, she was meant to depict Jesus Christ because she's got the headwear on, sort of with the things coming off,
The
thinking it
halo.
may look like a halo. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. And she's wearing blue or purple like Jesus was, because that's actually blue in a better picture. So I reckon it was done deliberately just to shit the world off.
Back in those days, there was only obviously two genders, male and female, which we're not getting into now. That's all bullshit in my eyes. Anyway, look, obviously we know what's going on there. I don't agree. I don't like it. I think it's piss poor.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, so that's the opening ceremony. Let's move on from that.
just terrible, terrible.
I think
Yep,
well done, Olympic Committee, done a good job. Moving on to obviously probably the biggest thing so far to come out is this boxing match everyone's heard everything about. Which
yep,
again, that's
yep,
that's my background,
yep.
the Italian heritage there. And when I heard about this, it upset me. It made me a bit, it's not
Hmm.
very fair. What are your thoughts?
Oh, look, I've heard things that the Algerian there's actually two. There's an Algerian and I think Taiwan boxer. They both failed gender
Testing.
identity testing last year at some world championships. So how how can they possibly be allowed to fight against, you know, females that have was it an XY chromosome?
Well, that's what a
Like,
male genetic is made up of.
mate, well, what's a female XX?
XX.
Yeah, so one thing I did like is Jake Paul. I don't like Jake Paul himself. He's a bit of a twat, but he actually come out and said he's willing to put the Italian fighter on one of his undercards so she can showcase to the world how good of a boxer she actually is,
Well, good on
which
him.
I thought was really really good. But it's just typical what the world is today, mate. Not somebody didn't have the fucking gumption to say no, this isn't right, and say you can't box.
So,
Like,
are we able to do a video on uh, our beliefs and thoughts on genders of this world?
I like that. We can definitely do that. That's definitely something we can do.
Obviously, we
Um,
have an opinion. We can't signal people out, but we can talk about what we want to talk about. Yeah.
100%. It's a fucking freedom of speech. It's a free world. If they don't like it, they'll take it down. Who gives a shit?
Hmm.
So, but no, 100%. That's something that we can definitely talk about. But yeah, it's just fucking absolute bullshit, mate.
So you're on the assumption of me where the fight shouldn't have taken place. This athlete
Should
should or should not compete in the women's boxing match.
correct. How can you go from failing a gender identity test 12 months earlier to being allowed to compete in the Olympics game? It's simply because I reckon, is because where it's been held, and they're calling it the woke Olympic Games and all this sort of bullshit. So I think it's everything to do with where it's held and the people running the show at the moment.
As I said earlier in the video, I've lost interest in it. From the start. Obviously, with everything that's happened, like I used to love, of course, the cookie. But yeah, look, let's not delve too far into it because obviously we don't want to spend too much time on there. And at least we can say we know it's wrong in our eyes.
Yes,
All right,
my my wife just made me a cup of tea and gave me two Anzac biscuits.
good. Next question: the
Are we?
medal.
Yep. Do we still want to talk about controversy, or you want to keep going with
Yeah, yeah,
other
no, no.
questions?
We'll get through my questions first because obviously you
Okay.
love talking, and then we'll get into whatever you want to talk about at the end.
Yep.
The medal tally, you've explained how that works, so I'm happy not to touch on that now.
Okay.
All right, so I'll cross that one off the list.
Delicious.
Next question: what is your favorite event to watch and why? I'll tell you mine. I love watching the weightlifting. For some reason, I've just always fascinated me, and I love watching the weightlifting because it's pretty impressive the weight they lift. What about you?
Obviously, sorry, excuse me. For the people that know me, I love my basketball and my footy and all those sort of sports. I love ball sports. But
Oh, it's the balls.
when it comes to the Olympics, hey,
It's the balls.
when it comes to the Olympics, I most look forward to track and field. For me, it's track and field. Um, I think they are the true athletes, the swimmers and the athletics people. I love it. Like I love high jump, triple jump, long jump, all those sort of things. Javelin, I really love javelin as well.
So this goes back
So
to the point is individual sports, I think, make up the Olympics. I like watching individuals.
Mm.
compete.
But I only love it because I grew up very team sport orientated, which is excellent, I guess. And I
And I
love
love,
ball sports, it's great. But for me, I love seeing all the field events.
yeah,
So all your high jump, triple jump, long jump,
and
javelin.
that's starting now, isn't it?
Yeah, the Aussies just made it through in the discus. He's throwing really, really well. He's throwing discus like 66 meters. And we'll talk about one of the Aussie girls shortly
Yeah.
who medaled in a different event.
So yours is obviously track and field. Mine's weightlifting. Do you like weightlifting?
Um, yeah, I do. I don't mind it. I actually
I put the
when
chalk.
I was when I was posted to Pucker when I was still working, uh, female medic Darcy, someone
Okay.
can't remember her last name. Hey,
Was she a PDI?
was she a PDO? No, she was a medic.
PDI.
She was a
Done the
medic.
weight with no. She used to run our PT session.
Yeah, you remember
Yeah.
Darcy?
Weightlifter.
I'm not sure if she's competing or not.
Yeah, right.
Is she? I know she made the Commonwealth team. Not sure if she's in the. I'm not sure. She could be competing. It'd be good to see her compete.
Hmm.
So I think we're friends on Facebook or some bullshit. I don't know.
We'll have a look.
Um, yeah,
Um, moving on to my next question. What Aussies should we be looking out for? Because obviously the Olympics when I watched them was back years ago. Obviously the era of those, the big guns, your Grant,
yep.
what's his name, Ian Thorpe, like that sort of genre of people.
Yep.
Who is?
Um, I think the next 10 years for the Aussies in the pool, I think we're going to overtake the Americans. I really do. Um, this is the closest we've ever gotten to the Americans in the pool. So especially the girls, man, the girls are killing it. So out of our 12 gold medals so far, 9 of them have been female Olympians or female teams out of the gold medals.
Yep,
So your girls like obviously your Ariane Titmus, who's a freak. She's a swimmer. She swims 800, 400, and 200 freestyle.
yep.
She won gold this Olympic. She won gold last Olympics. She's the
Coach,
one who's really
coach did the dance.
yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Molly O'Callaghan. She's only young. She actually beat Ariane this year in the 200 for the gold medal. So you got them two. You've got the young Aussie fella who finally broke through in the freestyle in the 50 meters freestyle. He got gold. I can't remember his name, but the swimmers are killing it at the moment. And this chick here, I'll share again. I can't pronounce her name. You'll see it on the screen. Um, she just won silver in the high jump. She jumped. Her and her counterpart both jumped 2 meters, and they both got out on 2 meters 02. But the other chick won on count back. So she's an up and comer. She's only really, really young. Nicola Oslager or whatever her name is. So she's um one to look out for in the next 4 years. And there's another one, a 200-meter sprinter. I can't remember her name. Um, she's an up and coming runner as well. In regards to other events, I'm not really too sure. But look out in the pool over the next, 4 to 8 years. We're gonna surpass America in the pool, I think.
No, happy days. So another question, which I still don't know what I'm doing. Can and how do you choose what event you want to watch when it's live?
Easy. So the only people that have full rights is Channel 9. So just go to 9 now. You go to 9 now, then it breaks it down
Yeah,
into what's happening live, what's happening that day. And then you can go pick your sport, breaks it down again into all your individual sports. There's another section there about Australia only or what's Australia doing. So go to the 9 Now app and you can watch it. It's all there, 24 hours a day.
right.
And the 9 Now app's free. You just got to subscribe to it. Doesn't cost you any money. So Yeah.
Happy days. Next question. When does the Paralympics start? And do you think it should be concurrent with obviously the Olympics? I think it should be.
It starts pretty much straight after.
Yep.
Um, I'm not sure if there's a week break in between, but I don't think it should be, just for the sole fact that I think they've earned their own Olympics, their own right to compete separately. And I think having the full bodied um normal Summer Olympics with the Paralympics, I think it would take the shine off each other. I think they've earned the right to have their own showcase.
No, that's
So
it.
yeah.
I just thought I'd ask.
Hmm.
And does that go for the same duration as what the stand Olympics goes, or is it shorter or longer?
I don't think so. I think it's slightly less. There won't be as many events.
No,
So
that's,
yeah, I
that's
think
cool.
I haven't got dates for you. Sorry.
No, all good. Next question, this is one match I did watch. Let's talk the Matildas for a minute or two.
Hmm. Hmm.
What the hell, man? They're the next Brisbane Broncos. Like they think their shit don't stink. Oh my god.
Yeah,
They were losing to Zimbabwe, whatever it was, that some African team, and they were 2-0. Then it was like goal for goal. They ended up winning 6-5.
they were down 5-2.
5-2, sorry, 5-2. Yeah.
Um,
Come back and won
and
5.
one of the goals was
I went straight through her hands.
went through the goalkeeper's hands, so a decent goalkeeper would have stopped it.
But they didn't
Uh,
even
I,
make it
I
past the
I
group
think.
stages.
Say again, mate.
They didn't even make it past the group stages.
No. Um, yeah, I think it's a lot of piss and wind. To be honest, I think Australia should be not. I think there's other female teams in Australia that have earned the right to have 1,000 times more praise than the Matildas.
Yeah.
I think it's just because the game they're playing, being the world game and all. Um, look at this. Look at what the Australian cricket team's done for the last 10 years. Look at the Australian Diamonds, the netball team. They've won just about every single World Cup ever has been, except for the couple they've lost to New Zealand. Like these are female teams that have just been absolutely dominant for a very long time. And we don't hear about them at all. Well, very little on the mainstream news, unless you're a cricket fan or a netball fan specifically.
Yeah.
You don't see fucking write ups about them on the Channel 9 news like all the Matilda shits. Like,
Mate,
yeah.
I'm sick of hearing about the Matildas, this and that. I'm glad they got their asses beat because hopefully they go back and have a look at themselves and realise, hey, you got lucky where you did in the World Cup.
Well, the coach is gone.
Yeah, I don't know if the coach is the problem.
He has. Apparently, he hasn't been renewed.
No, so is the coach the problem?
Huh. Well,
The coach isn't out there bloody doing the hard yards.
but you look at the Broncos, like we just mentioned.
That's what I say. It's a
It's
split image of the
got to
Broncos.
start somewhere.
Don't stink. And the
So
Broncos
it's got.
didn't even make it to the semis. Matildas didn't make it to past the groups. It's just the Broncos,
Yeah.
just a female version. Anyway, enough of the Matildas. My last question before we start talking whatever you want to talk about. Who do you think's
Hmm.
going to win the Olympics and why?
I think America will take over.
Yep.
Um, China doesn't have the strength that the Americans have in the track and field. So I think by the end,
They're doing the ping pong, man. Have you seen that shit?
the table tennis.
Oh, the ping, ping, pong, ping.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I think Americans will take the lead,
Yeah, I agree.
and so they bloody should. Like, honestly, they're not the greatest country ever. They have more opportunities than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like, look at the schooling system that America has. They have national high school competitions. Then you go through college, you get athletic. What are they called? Um, Scholarships. You know, they get school that's paying for you. People that pay for you all through high school, all through college.
Yeah.
their what's the word? Their pathways is 1,000 times stronger than anyone else in the world, which is awesome because I wish Australians did. I wish our schooling pathway was the same. I would have fucking loved it.
I reckon the Penrith system and the Bulldog system will be up there for pathways.
No, Canterbury's just taking all the Panthers players.
Yeah, they'll be a good squad next year.
Wow.
And Tigers. Anyway, that's tomorrow's talk. Listen,
Mhm.
now time
How
is
long we
yours.
got left?
We've got 13 minutes.
Oh, so just a couple points. Another reason, another way France have fucked the Olympics. So check this out for a fucking headline, would you? Athletes hospitalized after swimming in the Seine River. Triathletes.
Yeah, right.
So you know what's getting around in the water?
What's getting around?
Feces and shit particles, yeah, in the river. So worst fears have come true as multiple athletes have fallen seriously ill after competing in the triathlon. So they're getting a thing called E. coli infection, which is diarrhea, stomach cramps, fever, and all this sort of shit, all from swimming in the river.
Yeah, right.
So there's Belgium and a couple other people have had to pull out of mixed events and team triathlon events, and they haven't been able to, excuse me, haven't been able to field a team and continue on. And apparently, there's a 10-kilometer open swim about to happen in the river as well. So how how can they allow sewage? This is raw sewage we're talking about, isn't it?
Um,
Into the river where athletes are competing.
I don't know. This reminds me.
That is that not just like major health and safety shit?
So, oh, France has been a place I've always wanted to go and visit with the family. I guarantee you now, I ain't going anywhere near that place.
So Catherine, my wife, she's traveled the world pretty much. She's been to over 30 countries with her family when she was in her teenage years.
Yeah,
And she said France was one of the dirtiest places she's ever been to.
yeah, right.
And she had a friend at work just go over to Paris and come back before the Olympics. And she didn't want to say anything to her because she didn't want her to have an opinion of the place before she got there.
Yeah,
And she come back and she said, I can't believe how dirty Paris is. And Kat said to her, yeah, I was gonna tell you, but I didn't want to wreck it for you. And she said it was the same when we were over there.
yeah. No, there you go.
And
There
to
you
have
go.
feces floating around in the river goes to say how much of a dirty place it is.
I'll
Last point. Hey,
put a big X on my travel plan.
crazy. Diarrhea, fucking gonorrhea, fucking whatever else. Um, the beds. Have you heard about the beds?
Oh, I heard something about being cardboard or something.
So they're sleeping on cardboard box beds. And really hard mattresses and apparently I've seen a few videos of athletes testing these beds out, and so it's number one for the environment they reckon, and number two to stop them rooting. That were the two reasons that they had cardboard beds in the harder mattress. It was for the environment and to stop athletes from having sex.
Yeah, right.
Like they're gonna fuck if they want to fuck, they're gonna fuck. Just
Yeah,
give them a comfy bed. That's why they reckon. That's another reason why they reckon not many world records have been broken this Olympics. Because they don't reckon the athletes have been getting the rest or getting quality rest like they should have been because of the beds and stuff like that.
yeah. Well, so in other words, you're saying the athletes' village is a flop as well.
Probably. Well, I've only heard bad things about the beds. So
Well, there you go. But
yeah.
yep, there you go.
Yeah.
That is what it is, isn't it? I'm glad I'm not an athlete over there.
Yep. So the Aussie women to finalize to finish off are killing it. They're making Australia proud in every single way. Oh,
Good.
another one I failed to mention before about people to look out for. Obviously, she's not to look out. She's already a fucking treasured icon in Australia. Is Jess Fox, the
Oh,
canoe
yes.
and kayaker. She is not only good on the eye, she's fucking good in the water as well. And her sister's into doing really well in the kayak cross. So you know what the kayak cross is?
No.
So you know in BMX they got this thing and the gate drops and they all come down, they race.
Yeah.
So kayak crosses, they got the four kayaks up there. It drops down, they drop about 3-4 meters into the water and they fucking battle down through the rapids.
There you go.
It's really cool. It's a new concept.
Honestly, after we get this uploaded, I might put the Olympics on and watch a bit.
Couple more. Sorry, I just thought of it. Skateboarding in the Olympics.
Yes.
No, I
No.
don't think so.
There's a few sports that are now considered Olympic sports, which they're not Olympic sports. You go down to your local bloody thing and you see bloody how many stupid people down there.
Um, so we've got normal basketball. Why do we have 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics?
Is that a thing, is it?
It is.
Oh.
It is. It's not an Olympic sport.
What else?
Basketball is an Olympic sport, yes. 3-on-3 basketball is not an Olympic sport.
What else?
So I read, I don't know how true it is. So next Olympics is in Los Angeles, yeah?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Um, Apparently they're going to try and introduce, so you know, American football, NFL, gridiron, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So they're, you know how we play touch footy?
Yep.
They have flag footy. So you got the fucking tags on. Apparently they're going to try and introduce that into the Olympics.
Oztag.
Like Oztag, but AFL. So yes, we play Oztag. They have flag football.
Yeah. Right.
Why would there's no one else in the world that plays it to the level that they do?
Yeah, I don't, look, that's
Right.
obviously going to come down to being in America, you know, like that's why they're going to apply for it, for sure.
But I think Brisbane need to pull their finger out of their ass too, because the Queensland government's gonna fuck it.
Can't be as bad
So,
as Paris, mate, because I'm pretty sure the
well,
river up there ain't no feces in it.
well, where they've got their opening ceremony, the proposed location, it's gonna be the smallest crowd since 1930, mate.
There you go.
So, yeah. And a lot of the athletes are not agreeing with some of the decision making. So
Well, they'll realise if they made a mistake. All I can hope for is, mate, that the bloody prices of houses go up because of the Olympics. I'll be a happy man. I couldn't give two shits what happens, who wins, who bloody's rooting who, or which male becomes a female. The bird's the bee, the bee's the birds, the birds that were bees, the bees that want to be. Ah, fuck.
and you know the moral to the story of all this
What's that?
is if you swim in a river and eat shit, you'll get E. coli infection and you'll end up with diarrhea, stomach cramps, and a fever.
There's one thing to take away from this video. Remember that. Swim like
Yep.
this, not like this.
Mm.
No, I'm happy with that. You happy to wrap it up there, mate?
I might go have sex on my cardboard bed.
Oh, yes, this is good. Well, yeah, thanks for listening. We greatly appreciate it. We hope you got something out of it. If you didn't, I don't care. You don't care. And yeah, we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Cheers.
Cheers.